What happens when we fall asleep? Where does our awareness actually go? We can study the science of sleep, brain waves, sleep cycles, what happens in the brain, but what is actually happening on a metaphysical level? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Christine from Kyanite Psychic Services, and I love to help sensitive and creative souls build trust and confidence in their connection with spirit. And you can find out more about me and what I offer at kyanitepsychic.com. In previous videos, we've explored what the astral plane is and the different ways that we experience it. And today I want to share my perspective on what's actually happening when we fall asleep, and also why I believe our astral body plays such an important role in the experiences we have. So, throughout history, different spiritual and philosophical traditions have proposed that consciousness doesn't simply switch off like a light switch when we fall asleep. And instead, sleep represents a shift in awareness, a transition from primarily experiencing the physical world to primarily experiencing the non-physical world or the astral. And you could say it this way: in sleep, our awareness transitions from being centered in the physical body, traversing the earth plane, to being centered in the astral body, traversing the astral plane. So many traditions teach that we're more than just a physical body. And there are many different, let's say, conceptions of how many bodies we have. In my own work, personally, I identify with a simple framework of 3 bodies that correspond with different aspects of our experiences. And I'll share that with you. We've got the physical body, of course, that our awareness inhabits to experience the density and physicality of the earth plane. We've got our energetic body, and a lot of people call this our subtle body, if you like that term. Energetic body is our energetic counterpart to the physical body. So it exists in parallel and it's intertwined with the physical body. It contains our chakras, the layers of the aura, among many other things. For many of us, our awareness is centered here while we're awake and while we're in certain types of meditation. And then we have our third body, that's our astral body. And I see this as our non-physical light body that our awareness inhabits to experience the astral plane. So I believe that all of us have these 3 bodies, everybody, and that all of these 3 bodies exist simultaneously. To be a little clearer, the energetic body and the physical body are really intertwined. And the astral body, when we're awake, you can think of it as superimposed onto the physical body. I don't know if you remember paper dolls as a kid. Maybe I'm dating myself as an 80s baby. But you know how you would put those outfits just like superimposed onto a form? Think of it kind of like that. Our astral body superimposes onto the physical and energetic body when we're awake. And then when we're asleep, right, it separates, our awareness travels into it, which I'll break down more in a moment, and we go off and have experiences. So again, all of these 3 bodies exist simultaneously. We all have them. So the difference isn't like what body you have, but really where your awareness is primarily centered at any given moment. So what actually happens as we begin to fall asleep? Well, as our physical body relaxes and begins to prepare for sleep and to repair itself, our conscious awareness starts to shift. So rather than remaining centered in the physical, and often for many of us, it's centered in our 6th chakra when we're awake, it begins to travel and transition into the astral body. Some people, myself included, believe that even the term falling asleep came to be because our awareness generally enters the astral body via our lower chakras, the body chakras, versus via the upper chakras. Otherwise, wouldn't we say, I'm going to rise asleep now? No, we say falling asleep. So to give you a little bit of a better picture, our awareness will transition from being centered up here in our sixth, all the way down, down, down to the third chakra, which is roughly in the middle of you, through what many people call the silver cord into the astral body, right? And then off and away to have those astral experiences. If you're wondering why people have such different experiences while you're asleep, from symbolic dreams, lucid dreams, rehashing your day, I've talked about that in a previous video more in depth. I'm going to link that above and below. But whether you remember vivid dreams, wake up with no memory at all, the underlying process of what happens with your conscious awareness when you fall asleep is the same. When I first learned about the astral body, it was really a concept. It's like, okay, cool, that makes sense. I understood it intellectually, but I didn't have any firsthand experience of it. It was just, again, a concept. But, as I continued to meditate and develop my awareness of energy, which is always so, so important, in cultivating my psychic senses, that began to change. And so what had once been a concept slowly transitioned into something I could perceive and work with more directly and have this more as tangible a sense you can have of it as you could, right? For something that's non-physical. So what I would recommend to all of you that are curious and want to continue to develop themselves as energy and spirit level, if you have a meditation practice and feel comfortable using your clairvoyance, something you might want to explore is simply setting the intention in meditation. So getting grounded, centered, closing your eyes. Set the intention to look at your astral body. Ask your highest guides to show you. I often find it easy to first take a look at it, kind of like you look at a doll or a mannequin out in front of you, like arm's length in front of you, versus trying to see it interconnected with all the other parts of you, right? Especially since it's superimposed onto the physical body when we're awake. We just set the intention to look at whatever you notice about it right in front of you. And again, we're often aware of what we set the intention to focus on. This is gentle, this is accessible, and don't worry about trying to see something specific. Just, again, notice whatever you notice. And this is something anyone can begin to explore. The astral body isn't just something somebody has. You reach a certain level and then you have an astral body. No, we all have one. But we can develop our astral body over time and also increase our awareness of it, right? And the more that we observe, the more that we ask questions, ask your guides, ask, your inner knowing and your higher self, the more we cultivate our awareness, the more we begin to understand not only the non-physical, but ourselves. I used to only have dream experiences that were, I think, what is it, first person, like in video games where, you're moving about from room to room, but you don't see yourself. You just see the scene in front of you, right? I didn't have a sense of my astral body, but over time, looking at it in meditation and setting the intention to get to know it more clearly, now I have more diverse dream experiences where, I do see what my body looks like and I can affect change within my astral body, right? And no, not every single dream that I have is the same. Sometimes I'm still, in that, what is it, first person. But I, again, have more awareness of this part of me. And my senses in my dreams, I would say, have strengthened and grown over time. And looking at the astral body is certainly part of that piece of that puzzle. So my hope is that this video leaves you with a little more curiosity about what happens each night as you fall asleep and inspires you to get into meditation, take a look for yourself, ask questions, find your answers, and be in a space where you're not simply wondering what you're going to dream about, but knowing where your awareness is going and what you might be experiencing, what you might discover about you along the way. So thank you so much for spending time with me, for being here. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave me a comment, like the video. I'd love to hear your experiences, so let me know. And if you'd like to continue exploring topics related to the astral, I'll link my playlist both above and below. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.